My name is Jessica Parsons, and I'm a student at Paradise Valley Community College, and we're testing the microphone, and the microphone is working.
Check, check, check.
They get all teary-eyed because I just love my students.
Okay,
And we love you back.
My name is Alexis Pena. I'm a student at SCC, Scottsdale Community, and I'm studying for philosophy.
Hi, I'm Jessica Parsons. I'm studying theater here at Paradise Valley Community College and web design at Scottsdale Community College.
And my name is Stephen Reynolds, and I am a social work major here at PVCC.
Okay, well, we have some questions, and they've been provided with the questions ahead of time, so it's not like there's any kind of gotcha things going on here.
I've actually switched classes because one teacher offered a textbook that was $120 and the other teacher right below them offered a course that was $20. And I actually ended up switching the classes because of that, because I couldn't justify taking the exact same course with a more expensive textbook when there was a cheaper option available. It's one of those things that as a student, I have to look at that and say, for my semester, can I save any money any place? And usually textbooks are the place where I can do that.
Since I'm an older student going back to school, for me, cost is a major issue. I've got 3 teenagers and I've got a 5-year-old. And so money is extremely tight. I'm always looking at the cost of books. Sometimes it makes a difference between maybe taking 12 credits versus sometimes I might want to take 15 and I can't because of the cost of the books and stuff. Because now I understand about the OER thing, and I have done the OpenStack as well. I get really excited because I understand that it's like, okay, that's like $200 or $300 that I don't have to pay, and that makes, that like I said, that's very critical because it makes a big difference in our finances.
Every semester, they tell me to get you should look into getting the book, blah, 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 and honestly, I'm just, no, like, that's way too much money for things I necessarily don't need. I just like to be frank about it, like, it's an unnecessary cost for me, because if I needed to look up the information, I'll go online or I'll speak with a professor. I'm not going to spend $150 on something that's just supplementary. I can just go online if I want the information.
I usually prefer digital media. It means that I have less to carry around in my backpack, and it also means that I can search, and usually there's lots of links and things involved in digital media as well. Links to videos or additional resources, and it makes it more convenient. If I'm struggling with a topic or really interested in a topic, if they'll include links to additional videos or web pages or articles so that I can do additional research and find more resources and more ways to bring that into the real world, because a lot of times it feels like in college you're learning in a bubble and you don't really get to see outside of that bubble of college into the real world. And when teachers can bring in those links and those other media, I feel like I get more out of the class.
I prefer having the digital copy and having the hard copy as well, because I'm just one of those type of people that, I like to have something to be able to look at, to be able to highlight, things like that. I'm that kind of a learner.
If it's printed and given to me, I look at it for what we use it for, but other than that, it's kind of, shuffled away, and maybe I'll use it again, maybe not. The liberty that Google or like the internet offers me in terms of my own pathway to learning is just so awesome.
I find that for OER, usually the information is more up to date. Sometimes with textbooks, unless you get the most current edition, which is usually the most expensive, you'll find that the information is from 5, 10. I even had a textbook that was research from 15 years ago. And you look at that and you say, okay, but what's going on now? So it goes back to that everybody thinks and learns in different ways. So by having open educational resources, you can kind of address those different learning styles as well. Open educational resources means being able to look at different sources, compare and contrast them, and really look at the world from many different perspectives. Because a lot of times with a traditional textbook, you're getting one person or maybe 2 or 3 people's perspective, but not really that global perspective.
My first experience was with OpenStax, and when I went into the website, it said, "Do you want to make a donation?" And I was like, okay, so so it's like, okay, so I think it was like $5, and I paid $5. I downloaded the material, and I was like, was that it? And it, and that was it for the semester. And I was like, oh, okay. For me, though, I see the value in it, and not just because it saves money, but just because it actually does have material that is more, for me, it seems like material that is more precise and what you actually need to have.
But the internet is like the equalizer, like, hey, I want to learn how to cook this. I'm going to Google it. I'm going to watch a YouTube video. I'm going to read what these people are saying. Like I always check the comments if I'm trying to learn something and see what people, like, how they're disagreeing, blah, 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 blah. And it just makes sense to, like, yes, I can spend $200 on this book, or I can just go online and look it up. And the fact that it's in the context of the school allows for a better guidance of that information, So, I have a tendency to go off the rails if I'm learning something, but like me and him were just talking about the fact that it's happening, it's going to keep going, and there's only so much you can do to impede that before the dam breaks and everybody's just learning online, I guess. Like if I was speaking to you about it, it'd be make sure I'm sticking to what we're trying to learn about, just because, again, I like to go off the rails, I like to learn my own thing, but if it's not progressing towards this goal that the class has set for me, then I'm losing my path.
There's always the course objectives, and you need to make sure you're hitting the course objectives. But if there's a topic that the students are really, really passionate about and understanding, maybe adding a couple of extra moments where you can teach more about that or discuss more of those topics. And at the same time, if students are struggling with things, finding new directions to come at it to help them understand things from a different perspective.
I would actually have the comments for the professors that weren't using the OER.
Well, the next question is, what advice do you have for faculty who have not yet begun using OER, but plan to in the future?
Because I wasn't very aware of OER, and I just think because of just getting the word out, like something like this, and just making even more of a presentation to more people, just to get more of the information out about OER is where it should be at. I've been, back at school for, on and off now for quite a few years, but now consistently for the last couple of years. And I had no idea about this. And it seems like it's been out there for quite a while, and, it's new to me.
I think part of it is also talking to the academic advisors as well, having them talk to the students when they're signing up. Because a lot of times those students, when they're first signing up for classes, don't realize these things and don't realize that there's these educational resources out there in these classes where you don't have to pay $200 for a textbook.
I guess just realize the reality that, the information's out there anyway. And like for my philosophy class, I just look up the name of the book and I put PDF. And I just keep looking until I find that PDF file of the whole book. The information's out there, and for me, learning is a passion, and I'm going to find a way, And if it's a paywall, I'm going to get under, get around, get over. I'm going to find a way not to pay that money. Unless you require it for me to do the homework, but, that's putting me in a harder position in order to succeed, Because that funding I throw to that book takes away from my funding a living, honestly.
We all got to hear Dr. Ivan Kiani share with us his message. What to you all was the most notable thing you learned this morning that can help us? Or what was surprising?
Well, like, is it okay if I speak?
Yeah, go
ahead. Well, just because, like, listening to it, it was as if he was talking to, like, students like me or my best friend. Like, I was born in Mexico, and we only had dirt roads and a one-room clinic. That's where I was born, you know. And my dad was a U.S. citizen, so I luckily got to live here. But from the outside, like with the rest of my family, they would always judge me as lower than them, I guess. But the fact of the matter is, it's like I was only trying to survive, you know. And me and my best friend, like, we're in like 5th grade, 6th grade, reading about Julius Caesar, like going to the public library, looking for these books as a form of escapism, but a form of enlightenment. Like, when I see the word enlightenment, it means so much more to me because it means I'm standing above the pit that I could have lived in. It's beautiful for me to be able to come to SEC, and I can pick out professors I go every day and I speak to. Bloom, her, like my Grovac, my Dennis Avery, Jaco Pristo, Michael Valley. Like, me and her talk about Dostoevsky. I just read Paradise Lost. Like, I Skype with this Danish girl about Kierkegaard, and she gets frustrated that they're forced to learn it, but I love to learn it, you know? It's a way for me to become better than I am. And now when I go amongst my family, like, they like double look. They just, how did he become like this, you know? How did he not become like his mom or his dad, like, destitute? My grandparents are from Mexico. Like, my grandpa worked with his hands. My grandma was a lunch lady. Like, they scrubbed the floors, you know? And I'm scrubbing toilets in my work, you know? And I'm over here, like, thinking, like, you know, like, how did Dostoevsky write that? He bought me a book of William Blake, and I'm just like, how did he create such beautiful imagery with words, you know? And I'm scrubbing that toilet. Sorry to keep my but it's just like, I'm mopping these floors, I'm helping these customers, but in the back of my mind, I'm exploring the knowledge, the enlightenment that I'm getting from this information, you know? And like as I was with a kid, just a recap with my best friend, he's about to graduate ASU as a history teacher. So like, I'm sorry, but it's just like, all my life, everybody judged that kid, you know? He was that smelly kid with long hair who, you know, was unkept, and they always judged him. He was always hungry. And I would always try to include him. You know, if I got to go to Disneyland, he's coming with us. If we're getting pizza on Friday, he's eating. You know, and it's easy for people to speak, I want to be inclusive, you know, but it's work. And the point of the matter is, it's like, without the like, if it wasn't for the school, I would still be learning. You know, I would still be doing what I need to do to learn, to stay alive, you know. I'm not going to be another Mexican in the ghetto, you know. I'm going to be Alexis Pena, a man of culture, you know. The internet for me is a great equalizer. It's democracy in true form, I guess. Sorry.